Questo non posso dare qualcosa.
It's okay.
ఓకే సెషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేద్దామా అందరు వచ్చారా
నాదేనో ఒకసారి ప్యాకెట్లు లాగేస్తున్నట్టు ఇది ధనవాష్
ఓకే సో లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్ ది సెషన్. So yesterday what we have discussed, we have discussed the complete vendor portal and some of the customized process in one of the live project. Okay, and today we will discuss, there are 2 points which is left in the procurement session. One is the purchase agreement, another one is the uh, fixed asset creation. Okay, so for fixed asset creation, what we will do, we will create one procurement category. Okay, so this is an add-on advantage, like how to create the fixed asset. So that will be covered. Okay, so basically it's a combination of finance and procurement, so it covers both finance part and as well as SCM part. So it's a common point for both finance user and as well as procurement user. Okay, so what we will do, uh, for creation of fixed asset, you should be aware about that the procurement category should be available. Okay, if the procurement category is not available, then also we can create, but we need to enable the toggles manually. Okay, so we have in our dynamics, so we have some business justification rules for the fixed asset. When you enable this particular parameter, the fixed asset will be auto creation. Okay, the fixed asset group will be auto mapped, and if it is and we have some threshold limit. Okay, like for example, if you mention this threshold limit, so if it is more than that particular threshold limit, it will be capitalized in the sense at here the fixed asset will be created. Okay, if the expense is if the amount is less than the threshold limit, it will be expense out in the sense it will not create the fixed asset, but it will be categorized as the expenditure. Okay, so how we will configure that? For that, first we will see the procurement category is available or not. So let's go to the procurement sourcing, procurement category. Okay, let me change legal entity. Currently it is in dat. You can see at here company name is dat. You can change the legal entity by clicking on this particular dat, and you will get the drop down of entity list, and you will select the respective legal entity. Okay, so if you know the code, you can directly change in the link. You can see there is a link over here. You can see at your company equal to DAT, so you can change to USMF, or else you can change from here. This is the company entity list from this drop down. So this is the entity drop down. You can select any respective legal entity which you want to navigate. Okay, so currently I am in the procurement category. Okay, so I have vehicles over here. So under vehicle I have tractors, I have car. So I have the procurement category, two different type. One is tractors and another one is car. Okay, so these two categories are available. So before going to the next one, so this is the first, I have the category, and second thing is whether the groups are available, fixed asset group. Okay, so this is the part of finance. So for that, what we have to do, we have to go to the fixed asset module. Okay, under fixed asset module, we have a setup. At here we have fixed asset group. You will go to the fixed asset group. Okay, now you can see at here there is a vehicle, one of the group is already created. Okay, and you can see the number sequence for code is already mapped. Okay, and I am also enabling the number for barcode. So if you enable this particular toggle as yes and assign the same barcode, so at here what will happen, so why we need to enable this number for barcode? Like for example, if you want to generate the barcode for this particular fixed asset, so what was the fix when you scan that particular barcode, so what value should be display? So it should display the same fixed asset number. which is available inside the dynamics. So for that purpose, we will enable this particular toggle button, and we will give the same number sequence what we have given over here for the fixed asset creation. Okay, so this is the second thing which we will do it. And third thing is, this is the main thing what procurement user will do over here. So procurement user will navigate to the procurement and sourcing module. Under procurement and sourcing module, okay, under setup, we have fixed asset. Okay, under fixed asset, we have two different parameters which need to be set. One is organization wide fixed asset identification. So what this will do, so we will map that particular category when you have selected the respective legal entity. So this is the fixed asset group. Okay, like for example, if I'm adding new, so for vehicle, for vehicles, so I am adding the fixed asset group. Okay, so at here when I clicked on save, you can see all the legal entities has been applied over here. Okay, so for this vehicle, I have a specified group in the respective legal entities, so which I need to map that particular group. So what I will do, so when I type the vehicle over here in identifiers, so the here is my legal entities. So I will go to the USMF entity, like for example, let me filter USMF. Okay, so here is my USMF entity. Okay, so at here in this particular drop down, I will specify my vehicle group is vehicle fixed asset group. Okay, similarly you can classify for other entities also if you are following the same group. Okay, so this is the third step. And the fourth step is, we have another business justification rule under the fixed asset, under the procurement sourcing, under setup, we have business rule for fixed asset. Okay, we will open this particular determination rule for fixed asset, and we will click on new. Okay, and we will name it as vehicle. Okay, so at here we need to select the procurement category. So the first part is giving the name and description. So at here we need to specify the procurement category. Like for example, at here I am adding a new, and at here I am selecting the procurement category as uh, tax under vehicle we have cars. Okay, for cars I have selected the vehicle procurement category, and also for tractors I will select the same vehicle procurement category. Okay, so at here I have added two categories. One is car and another is tractor for the vehicle. Okay, so if I scroll down, you can see the organization wide rule. So under the organization wide rule, so I have to add the threshold limit. So you can see this is the threshold limit which I need to add for the organization level. Okay, so when I say there are two different levels will be there. One is the organization level, another one is entity level. So when you say the organization level, like for example, if it is a group company where you have one major group company, under that you will have subsidiary companies. Okay, so if you want to provide this particular threshold limit at the organization level, so in that case you will define over here in the organization level. Like for example, if I am giving the threshold limit as 500 USD. Okay, and this is my start date, and this there is no end date. Like let's imagine I'm giving the start date as, okay, let it be on today's date. Okay, so at here in organization level, what I did, if I do any transaction related to this particular category, procurement category, either it may be a car or tractor. Okay, so it will check against that particular category line level if the unit price is equal to 500. Okay, if it is greater than 500 USD, it will create the fixed asset. If it is less than 500 USD, it will be expense out. Okay, expense out is nothing but it is the expenditure to the company. Okay, uh, So this is the organization level I have defined it. So if I scroll down, so at here you can see organization wide fixed asset ID identifier. So organization wise, what is my fixed asset identifier? Is my fixed asset group, that is vehicle, okay, which we have created. The third step, we have created the identifiers as vehicle. Under vehicle we have classified the group for each legal entity, right? So that particular group we will map, or by default it will be mapped, and you will click on has qualifiers, okay. Other than that, you will click on add in the description, and you will select for the cars, okay. Name and description you will provide the same, and at here you will select the vehicle group, and similarly for the tractor. So this will be the repeated steps which you will do in the organization and the entity level, okay. So the so that the fixed asset group will be auto picked, okay. So I just saved this particular record only at the organization level so far. So if I scroll down, you can see legal entity specific rule. So far what we have seen the organization level wide rule. Now this is the legal entity specific rule. So when I say the legal entity specific rule, so this rule will be applicable only to the respective legal entity. Okay, so why we have two different rules? One is organization wide, another one is legal entity wise. So the primary priority will be given to the legal entity specific rule, and secondary is the organization. So it will check first with the primary and then the organization. Okay, if the primary is not there, like for example if you have not defined the legal entity, so it will check with the organization level. Okay, so that is the two difference why we have to provide. So if you both has been provided, it will go first with the legal entity of a specific rule, then the organization. So now I am defining the same thing in the legal entity level. So at here also I am giving the same 500 USD. So at here I am selecting the fixed asset group as vehicle. I will mention as qualifier as yes, and same I need to map the description. So at here in the legal entity level, which group I need to utilize, that particular fixed asset group I will select over here. Okay, similarly for car. Okay, so I have selected the fixed asset group as vehicle. Okay, so up to here the common thing which we need to do the configuration for the fixed asset. If this configuration is not there, you cannot create the fixed asset automatically. Okay, we can create manually, but we need to enable the toggle. Okay, so let me conclude what we have done. So first what we have done is we have enable sorry, first we have created the procurement category if the procurement category for fixed asset is there or not. If it is not there, we will create the fixed asset category. Second thing is we will check for that particular category against, like for example if we have created any new category, we have updated the we have the fixed asset group or not. If it is not there, then the finance user will create the fixed asset group. Okay, and third thing, so in between there if the group is created, the finance user will update the posting profile, that will cover in the finance session. So I have not took that particular point in this particular training session. Okay, and the third thing is we will create the organization wide fixed asset identifier. Fourth thing is business rule for fixed asset determination. So this is the fourth rule where we will define the fixed asset business rule for fixed asset determination. Okay, now this once this part is completed, okay, you can save this particular record and you can go to the home page. Now if you create the purchase order, like for example if I'm going to the accounts payable, purchase order. So right here you may get one kind of question like, if I want to create fixed assets, so what I need to configure? Okay, so you should be able to answer like if you want to create the fixed asset, so whether in procurement sourcing module, if the organization wide fixed asset identifier and business rule for fixed asset determination is configured or not. If these two is not configured, you cannot create the fixed asset automatically. Okay, so this is one question which may get in during the interview, and the second question may you may get where you will define the how you will classify the fixed asset, whether it is a capitalized or it is a expense out. So you will say I will classify this particular thing in my business rule for fixed asset determination. We will define the threshold limit. If the threshold limit is greater than the when you create the transaction for that particular category, if the threshold limit is more than more than the unit price, like for example if threshold limit is 100 and you are creating the fixed asset for 120 line item, so fixed asset will be automatically created if the amount is less than the threshold limit, if it is expense out. So you there will be a two question which may ask. Okay, you have to answer that one. So okay, so at here I am creating a new purchase order. So I just clicked on new, and at here I will select the vendor. Okay, so let me select the vendor from this particular, like for example land package supplier. Okay, so at here in the administrate in general tab, I can update the site warehouse. It depends on the what kind of industry they are using. Like for example, if it is a service-based industry, mostly they will select only the site. If it is a manufacturing sector, so you may have site, warehouse, and location. If it is a retail sector, you will have site and warehouse. So why we use this site and warehouse? So what was the purpose of this particular thing? So if you remember in the initial session when I telling about the product, so we have so for the product we have different criteria. So we have at their storage dimension group, tracking dimension group, product dimension group. Okay, so there are three dimension group which is available. So what is the use of this particular three dimension group? Like for example, if it is a storage dimension group, so it will talk about where exactly you are storing that particular product or services, or where you are giving those goods or services. Okay, so that was the reason at here the site and warehouse it was asking in the purchase order. The reason behind is where you are exactly storing or where exactly you are providing the services. Okay, so that was the reason at here it was asking to update site and warehouse. It's a optional. It depends on industry vertical how you want to use it. Okay, so currently I'm selecting only the site. Okay, I'm not selecting the warehouse. Okay, so if I scroll down, so we have the administration. So under administration you can either select the buyer group or requester. So buyer group will be the by default whoever is creating the purchase order, so we can create it as a buyer group for them, and or else we can select the respective user. Okay, so currently we in Dynamics Insight, so there are some specific buyer group has been created, so we can select. It's an optional. And what do you mean by requester? Like for example, if you are creating direct purchase order, okay, so on behalf of whom, which department you are creating this particular purchase order, so you can mention the requester name. So requester name is nothing but the employee name will be updated over here. So you will select the respective department head person name as I'm creating this particular purchase order against this particular person on behalf of that particular person. So currently I'm leaving it as blank, and you'll click on OK. Now the purchase order will be created. Okay, so at here what I will do, I will select the procurement category. There is a procurement category, right? So under procurement category, if I select the vehicle as cars, let's select as cars. Okay, now I will give the quantity, unit, and unit price. Like let's for example I'm giving quantity as 1, unit price as each, so I'm giving 600 USD. Okay, so I just given 600 as the unit price. If I, you can see in line details we have fixed asset tab. Okay, if I click on this particular fixed asset tab, now you can see this new fixed asset is yes, and vehicle group is auto mapped. Okay, for example if I give 200, and if I click on save on top, so I just add another line. Procurement category cars, 1 each. Okay, so I just added 2 lines over here. You can see for line number 1 I have given 200 as the unit price. Okay, and line number 2 I have given the fixed asset per 1 unit, mean for one quantity I have given as 510. Okay, if you observe these two lines, the line number one in down in the line details, okay, line number one in fixed asset in line details, you can see the new fixed asset is a no, and no fixed asset group is mapped. Okay, for example, if I select line number 2 of this particular purchase order, where I have given for one quantity it's 510 is the unit price. Okay, in line details under fixed asset, you can see a new fixed asset is marked as yes, and fixed asset group is marked as vehicle. Okay, if we forget to enable this particular parameter, like we didn't classify our organization wide fixed asset identifier, business rule for fixed asset determination, if we didn't updated this particular configurational the parameter or configuration level in this procurement module, we can create fixed asset. Yes, we can create the fixed asset, but it's a manual. Like for example, now I have created for the cars and tractors, right? Like for example, I am selecting some other procurement category. Let's imagine, okay, so under office machine I have computers. Okay, so computer is a one of the fixed asset, right? So I have selected the computer and I have given the quantity as 1 and unit of measure is each. So at here I am giving 1500 USD. Okay, if I click on save, you can see the fixed asset group is not auto map. For this particular case, as we have not defined the procurement category fixed asset and the organization wide fixed asset identifier and business rule justification for the business rule for the fixed asset determination, so we have not given for this particular category. So we can create fixed asset by enabling this particular toggle button as yes and manually selecting the fixed asset group. Okay, so this is the manual thing. So instead of manual interruption, so we are directly defining the rules over there, so it's convert automatically. Okay, any questions anywhere? If you are stuck, it's a little bit tricky and complicated, so please let me know. If you have not understand, I will re-explain it. Okay, so at here for car we have two lines, right? The first line, it is not a fixed asset line item, so it will be expense out. So expense out in the sense it is a expenditure to the company, it is cost to the company, where company will pay on behalf of you directly. Okay, and fixed asset is also cost to the company, but it will be a classify as fixed asset. I mean it will be capitalized, so it will be the complete balance sheet item. So when I say balance sheet item, it's completely I mean if the chartered accountant, any persons are there, they will understand well what do you mean by balance sheet item, what is P&L. Okay, so we'll discuss more in the finance session about that. Okay, so the line number 1 and line number 2, so again it will be classified and the posting profile will pick from two different places. So when I say the posting profile, it's completely comes under the finance part, uh, from where I need to book the expense account and from where I need to pick the main account. So I mean the transactional account. If for any transaction, will when we post it, there will be some financial impact. Okay, so this financial impact, so I need to classify some of the main account for this particular transaction level. Okay, so those transaction level transaction where you will define in the posting profile. Okay, so at here we have now two different posting profile which is interrupting, or I mean one will pick that one posting profile and another one will pick another posting profile. So I will tell you how. Now you can see for line number 1, we have given the threshold limit as 500 USD. If the amount is less than 500 USD, it will pick from the inventory posting profile. Okay, let me show you inventory posting profile. So let me duplicate this particular tab. Okay, Now, if I go to the modules, okay, you can see inventory management. So you will go to the setup, posting, postings. Okay, so at here, if you go to the purchase order, okay, so you can see we have sales order, purchase order, inventory, production, cost variance. So these are the various posting profile is utilized. Like for example, now we are doing the purchase order transactions. So the posting profile related to purchase order transaction for this particular group will be reflected over there. Okay, now you can see at here we have a different main accounts which we need to map. One is for the cost for the purchase material received, cost, purchase expenditure and invoice. So in this very few we will map, and depends on the based on the industries. Okay, most commonly, like for example, if you see the first five we will utilize, and the purchase accrual, purchase expenditure and expense and prepayment. So these are the major one which you will utilize for the mapping the main accounts for the purchase order. Okay, there are few are there which will be classified for asset leasing, and there are some different modules are there. Okay, add-on modules, custom modules, you can say. So for that we will add the rest all the things. Okay, it depends on, most of the industries will follow these around 5 5 plus 2 5 plus 3 for 8. These are the 8 posting profiles you will map. One is for the cost for the purchase material received, purchase expenditure and invoice, cost of material invoice, purchase expenditure for product, discount, purchase accrual, purchase expenditure for expenses, prepayment. So these are the major one which we will map for all kind of industries. Okay, so this is one. So when I say in the line number one, if the particular purchase order, I mean the unit value is less than 500 USD, it will pick from the this particular posting profile. Okay, now when I say the amount is more than 500 USD, so from where this particular ledger transaction will be hit, so it will go to the fixed asset posting profile. So this is completely finance, so finance posting profile will be hit from the fixed asset module. Under fixed asset module we have fixed asset posting profile, so we will open this fixed asset posting profile. So at here you can see acquisition is nothing but we are purchasing the product. So under this you will find the fixed asset group as uh, at here you will find the group vehicle. If vehicle is not there, so it will stop over there. Okay, we will see how we can do that. So currently it is mapped for the all group. Okay, you can see grouping all, so it is applicable for all the group. Okay, now at here I need to do the confirmation is the major part. So without confirmation we cannot do the invoice. So let me do the confirm. Okay, no, it's still in processing.
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have created lot of purchase orders in previous sessions, right?
Yes.
But we are not using this fixed assets for those purchase orders.
Yeah.
Why?
So that was the reason I'm giving training this for. We have created the purchase order. We have done different process. Okay. So in that fixed asset acquisition through purchase order, that is also one of the business case which usually get it. Okay. So you should be
Okay.
aware to give the training. Okay. And you should be aware about the process, how it will be look like. So this is the standard process which should be there.
Yeah.
Okay. If you see main procurement test case, only for the procurement I'm talking about. I will show you. I have recently I prepared and shared with them.